everybody, welcome to LAB. I'm messing up the timetable again this week. I'm really sorry. I'm doing a law video and it's supposed to be broader, but I've got a couple of really busy weeks coming up and I wasn't sure when I was next going to have the opportunity to sit down and have a chat with you. So this week I'm doing how to convert your vacation placement into a training contract, which is something that a lot of you have been asking me recently. So first of all, if you're in this position, well done. The hard part is definitely over. The application stage is by far the hardest part, and I think it gets progressively easier as you go through. So if you've been offered a vacation placement, congratulations, you can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief at this point. What firms are really looking for in a vacation scheme placement is that you can apply those skills that they know you have into a legal environment. And secondly, what they want to know is that you really fit in with the ethos of the firm. Firms are really proud of the brand that they've created and the image they put across to their clients. So it's really important for anybody that they hire that they fit in with that brand and that ethos, and they're going to represent the firm accordingly. But this is a two-way street, don't forget. This is just as much about the firm testing you as you testing the firm as well, because you've got to think about the fact that this is where you're going to be spending a large proportion of your life for the foreseeable future. So it's really important that this firm is right for you as well as that you are right for the firm. So one of my first top tips is to read your environment really well. From the minute you walk in, read the security guys, the receptionist, your supervisor, everybody that you meet, get to know them, notice them, and give your all to everybody. As I said in one of my last videos, you are being assessed at all times, so it's really important to create a good impression with everybody that you meet. And in converse, it's also important for you to get an idea of what those people are like, to see if these are people that you really want to work with. When you're shown to your desk by your supervisor, have a look around you, see how the office is planned out, where the partners sit, where the support staff sit, where things are, how people interact with each other, because this is the ethos of the firm and it's something that you want to fit in with. So just notice everybody, look around and take a moment just to take everything in. One of the things you may experience as a work experience student is your IT not working very well. I know this seems like a random point to give, but there is a point in here. And the point I want to make is be proactive. So if something goes wrong or your phone isn't working or you can't log in, a great thing to do is say to your supervisor or the person sat next to you, oh, this isn't really working. So do you know the number for IT so that I can fix it? That's great. This is one of the best things that you can do, because that means that you are taking responsibility for it yourself. You're not just sitting there flailing, not knowing what to do, but you are actually taking responsibility and can work autonomously and fix anything that goes wrong for you. This should also reflect in the work that you're given as well. Be proactive with that. So if someone gives you a piece of work, go away and do it, but go the extra mile with it. So don't just do what you've been asked to do, but also potentially deliver that piece of work and make suggestions for what you could do next. People are always going to be really appreciative for proactive people and people who they don't have to manage and encourage. So if you can show that you've got a lot of self-motivation and can happily go out and get the work and get on with things yourself, this is a really attractive quality. One of my main bugaboos is phones. I hate phones. So just keep them out of sight all day. Text your friends, loved ones in the morning, say you'll catch up with them at lunchtime or at the end of the day, and then banish your phone from sight. Put it into your bag, because it's so off-putting when you look over and you see people on their phones or they're not really concentrating. It just seems like you're not really there and you don't really want to be there. So even if it's just a quick text, it just doesn't create a good image. So put your phone away and don't get it out in front of anyone. Another thing to watch out for is your tone with people. No word of a lie, I had a work experience student call me babe once, and it's just so inappropriate. I know I've said to read your environment, and if you are in a really relaxed office and everyone has a bit of a laugh with each other, by all means get involved and show a bit of personality, but just remember where you are and also remember your position as well. Like, it might be okay for a couple of solicitors who's known each other for a long time to be really familiar with each other, but it's not okay for you to be like that because you haven't been there long enough and you don't know anyone well enough to be like that. So just try and get involved as much as you can, but remember to be professional at all times. Use the opportunity that you have there to get the absolute most out of it. So speak to as many people as you possibly can. The chances are you won't have a chance to experience every single department within the firm, and there may be a department that you're particularly interested in that you're not working in during your vacation scheme placement. But whilst you're in the office, use that opportunity, seek the people out who you want to speak to and contact them and ask if you can have a 5-minute chat with them about their department. This again comes into being proactive, because this might be your only opportunity and your last opportunity opportunity to really get a feel for what this firm's about and make an impression on people. So don't be afraid to really try and make the most out of it. One thing which you might be worried about is when to leave at the end of the day. You'll probably have contractual hours which say that you need to be there between X and X, but you might feel a bit uncomfortable leaving on the dot when your day is due to end, and that's totally understandable. I felt like that. I think this again comes down to reading your environment. You can kind of see around you what time people leave, and it's inappropriate to be the first person to leave. But also, don't feel like you have to stay there just to give face time. Nobody in that office is there just to show their face. Everybody is doing work, and that's why they're there. So don't feel like you have to stay late just to show your face, because you really don't have to. But what I would say is a good piece of advice is try and finish the work that you've been given for that day so that you can start afresh the next day with a clean slate. You'll probably find that you have a supervisor who's responsible for actually managing you during your week or 2 weeks, but you'll probably do work for other solicitors in your department whilst you're there. So whoever's given you the work, I would finish off that piece of work, give it to them, and then ask your supervisor if it's okay for you to go. You don't really need permission to leave, but it's wise to do that anyway, and just give your supervisor an update at the end of the day before you go. Say you've been doing work for A, B, and C, you've just finished that piece of work, and you're going to start again in the morning, and then it's totally fine to do that. I think communicating with people is a really important skill to show whilst you're there. So tell people what you're doing, how long things are taking you. It's a really good idea just to let people know that, and then people know where you are and what you're doing. Other than that, just be yourself. I know this sounds really difficult in some ways, but there is no point in trying to be someone else during those 2 weeks. Obviously, you're going to be the most professional version of yourself, and that might not be who you would be on a day-to-day basis if you're around your friends and family. But don't try and create a whole new persona for yourself, because it will be really obvious and it will look fake and contrived. And the chances are it will probably dwindle towards the end of the week anyway, as you get more comfortable and you get more used to your environment. So there is no point in trying to be someone else. Just be the best version of you that you can be. And honestly, you will be fine. At this stage, like I said, you've got through all of the hardest bits, and at this point it's just showing that you can work well in an office environment, work well with others, and that you're an enjoyable person to work with. And if you can do all of that, then the chances are you will be successful. As I always say, it's not a competition, it's not about beating everyone else, it's just about meeting the criteria that that firm need. And if you can do all of those things, you will sail through it. So I wish you all the best of luck with it, and I'm sure you'll all do fantastically well, and I will be back again next week. See you later, guys.